Before we get rolling on the show, Bill, and introducing our guests, let me tell the listener what IAMC is. IAMC stands for Industrial Asset Management Council, and it is the leading industrial and manufacturing real estate trade association offering dynamic professional development, networking opportunities, and endless resources for its members in the U.S. and abroad. If you, the listener, manage manufacturing, fulfillment, and distribution properties you need to know about IAMC, welcome to the show.
Welcome, everybody, to our Industrial Advisors podcast. We are in Fort Lauderdale, Florida at IAMC, and we are really excited to have Betsy Power with us. Betsy is with PepsiCo. She's the director of corporate real estate there and really involved at IAMC. And so we're really fortunate to have Betsy here. We're going to talk today about the benefits of IAMC, and given how involved Betsy is, there's no better person to have here to talk about that. But before we get into that, would love to, I know you're busy, Betsy, with work and everything that you're doing. What do you do for fun? What's a day of fun for you?
A day of fun for me is yoga. I'm an avid yoga enthusiast. I'm an avid wine drinker to offset the yoga.
Yeah, you earn it that way. Yeah, that's what I tell
Right. I love to travel. I'm a huge wine enthusiast, but I'm going to Napa for the first time ever.
Wow.
On Memorial Day, so I'm excited about that.
Awesome.
And I have a very large family, and so we do a lot of vacations together.
Oh my gosh, that's great. So wine, family, travel. It's right
and
up
yoga.
It's right up our alley.
And what kind of yoga? Just curious.
Just flow yoga.
Awesome.
Yeah. I have a gym membership, hot yoga.
Nice.
Excellent.
Nice. Have you had, in our state, in Washington, Walla Walla makes some great wines. I don't know if you've had any Walla Walla wines.
Yes. I actually have a friend who works for Hillwood, and she went to the Oregon, Washington wine regions recently and just raved about it. So I'm looking forward to making my way up there sometime.
There's some good wines up there for sure.
Yes, there are. Pinots especially.
Yes, in Oregon for sure. Yeah.
So tell us a little bit. Well, first of all, this is an incredible setting here at Fort Lauderdale. We lucked out here. Tell us a little bit about your background, why you joined IAMC, how long you've been here.
Okay. Well, I joined IAMC right when I joined PepsiCo. And prior to PepsiCo, I was an attorney for 20 years. So I transitioned into the commercial real estate business through my brother-in-law's firm, which is Fisher. Mm-hmm. And I was just looking for a different opportunity. I had practiced law for many years, did not especially like it or love it in any way. And he offered me, come in, you've got, transferable skills, right? From being an attorney, and I was a litigator. So I negotiated, reviewed contracts, drew them up. So I went to Fisher for 5 years as a transaction manager. So I cut my teeth on transaction management on one of his accounts. And he, in his, I guess, one of his past clients was my boss, my now boss, James Keeley. So I lost the account. It went away, as accounts do, right? Mm-hmm. And my brother-in-law started, dialing the phone, trying to find an opportunity for me because I did not want to be a commissioned broker. I needed to be a transaction manager or someone like that you know what you're getting in your bank account every month.
For sure.
So he connected with James Keeley, who is, again, Senior Director of Global Real Estate for PepsiCo, and I interviewed with him. He liked me, thankfully. And then I interviewed with the VP of Real Estate for PepsiCo, and I got the job after 6 grueling months of waiting. And I've been at PepsiCo now about 6.5 years. And I did not know anything, I'll tell you, anything about industrial real estate when I came into the position. I think they hired me because they liked my background, right? Especially my legal background. So IAMC played a huge part in getting me up to speed on industrial assets and the whole commercial real estate industrial area.
Yeah, that's great. I remember I didn't know anything about industrial real estate when I got started either. And someone said something about a dock door. when we started. And I honestly, I didn't know what a doctor was when, like, day 2 of the business, but I've learned. That's been good. So I went to the Kansas City conference last year.
That was a great conference.
It was a great conference. And there's a lot of these industry conferences that we all go to. But I remember leaving the conference last year and just being blown away with really how well run it was. And most importantly, like the people that were there, just great people. And so I know you've been really involved with this organization, but like, what do you think the number one benefit for you is, just coming to these conferences and being involved with such a good organization?
I'd say the main benefit is the networking. I have, made relationships with developers that I use now, economic development people when we have a challenge and that we need solved. Again, I'm director of real estate for Frito-Lay North America, and we do projects everywhere. And so we need lots of people to help support our initiatives, the strategies and the buildings that we're building. And you find, again, at IAMC, it's solely focused on industrial real estate. Mm-hmm. So, and that's what I need. That's all I do. We have other people in PepsiCo who do the offices, but me and my colleague, Martin Wallace, solely focus on industrial assets. That's all we do. And the connections that you can make at IAMC, especially if you're new, say, to industrial assets, if you've never, a lot of brokers now have transitioned, right, from office to industrial because it's a hot asset right now.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's a great way to learn as well, just because of the programs and the sessions that IAMCA provides to help someone who's new to this industry to become expert, perhaps more quickly than they would have.
Yeah, I was just going to say, you're negotiating these, multi-million-dollar deals with some of these developers, and what a great opportunity to be able to network with them. While you may be on opposite sides of the table while you're going through a negotiation, there's a level of trust that can get built through these type of conferences, and that's just got to be a great benefit as well.
It absolutely is. And again, I can't do my job without service providers, without economic development people, and I get to connect with and get a relationship with those types of people because, again, as I said, I do projects all over North America. So it takes a village to help Frito-Lay get the buildings that we need and the sites that we need for the growth that we anticipate we'll have in the future.
You make a great point about the networking. I've enjoyed it. I think this is my 5th year, and the networking certainly is a huge component of it. But I will also say that the educational component is second to none of any conferences I've attended. Tell us a little bit about the education component that you enjoy. Have you been involved in the selection of that? What excites you most about the educational content?
The educational content, going back to what I said earlier about when I didn't know anything about industrial assets, that is really where I got a lot of my understanding about, again, the industrial arena. To your point, Bill, I mean, you didn't know what a dock door was. I guess I kind of could envision what it was, right? Yeah. But again, just to know the technical requirements to build a building, right? To be able to understand what others were doing in the marketplace. At IAMC, we have what are called corporate-only sessions, where the corporate end users like PepsiCo and Caterpillar and Owens Minor, we get to share our challenges and our needs, and we come up with maybe new ideas about how to do things differently. We had a great session yesterday afternoon, was exactly that. And again, they do education and leadership sessions where you can go in and listen to somebody who is not necessarily an industrial asset person, not in the commercial real estate industry, but yet they provide how to do your job better, how to take care of your people better, how to take care of yourself better. We had a really good session yesterday. So there's a huge variety. While it is an industrial asset organization, it encompasses a lot more than just talking business, right?
For sure.
And of course, when you come to venues like Fort Lauderdale and this fabulous hotel, then that just, that helps too.
It's nice to go to Florida. Yeah.
Speaking of that, one of the, a lot of the listeners that are going to be tuning into this podcast, unlike you, may be in their role for, 10 or 15 or even 20 years as a executive of real estate or a C-suite handling real estate at large, firms that occupy a lot of space around the world. Why would they come? What would you say the biggest benefits for them to say, gosh, I'm gonna spend 4 days in a great place like Fort Lauderdale with other corporate heads of real estate?
I would say it is getting to engage with and create relationships with people that do exactly what you do in, say, North America. Mm-hmm. The connections that we have as a corporate group are just, again, we've got the best companies in the world that come to IAMC. And of course, I have to say the best service providers and the best economic development people as well. So it's one of the nice benefits of coming to IAMC is that it is what's considered a low sell environment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The goal is to, of course, we're all here for business, right? We're all here to help our companies, whatever company they are, to be successful. But it is the quality of the corporations that are represented here that just blow my mind. And again, we've grown that membership of corporate people. I think the pandemic and when industrial really took off, people started realizing, I think I need more resources to help support my industrial portfolio. And so we've got several, and I should know how many, but I don't know. But let's just say I think we've added at least 20 new corporate companies in the last year and a half who want to come to IAMC because they might be missing something. As you know, things are changing so quickly, right?
That's right.
Things are just accelerated. And so I think that's a huge benefit. It's just the quality of the organizations that are represented here.
Yeah, there's great companies that are here and great people. And what was clear to me last year when I came to the first conference for me with this organization was just the openness of sharing best practices, even I guess you would call them competitors, right? But not really. But, everyone was willing to openly share kind of their best practices. And so I would imagine, for corporate real estate companies, that's just one of the best things about this organization is just the fact that everyone's just so open to share kind of what they're doing from a best practices standpoint.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Again, I don't think the organization would flourish the way it has if people just came here to solely focus on trying to get a client, or try to just make a connection with a developer or, site selection person. We're here because we collectively have the same focus, right, which is helping corporate companies with their real estate assets. But best practices, and again, I learn something new every day. And of course, I live and breathe industrial, but I still can learn and still can get new ideas and new ways of thinking through this event.
Well, it's going to be a wonderful event. Tell us a little bit about what you're going to do while you're here. You're going to get a little spa time, a little beach time, in addition to the wonderful classes, sessions, and networking.
I wish I would, but
yoga on the beach.
Well, they do offer
they
it,
do.
right? They do.
Kind of more into the wine thing, by the way, Betsy.
Yeah,
if you want to go drink some wine,
I'm
in. Yeah.
Well, and there's plenty of that here as well, right? So, and then again, that's the nice thing. There's a lot of hospitality events here, which again are networking opportunities for people. This is, I think, really, you get the education in the sessions, you get the leadership in the sessions, but you really get the connection when you go to those hospitality areas and start talking to people. And that, I think that's probably where most of the business eventually comes from, is just meeting someone new, maybe someone new to the organization that you didn't know they were a member, and finding out, more about what they do. But because and I won't say this, is very happy to be on the board of directors. And so since I'm on the board of directors, I don't have as much flexibility in my schedule as I did before. But hey, I'm doing this, which is awesome. So I'm so glad that y'all invited me to do it.
Well, you were fantastic. Really appreciate it. And, we always appreciate when people are just all in with things. And you certainly are, not only with your company, but with this organization. And appreciate you sharing some insights on the benefits of IAMC. And it's going to be a great conference. So this was a great way for us to kick it off. So thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks a lot.
You're very welcome. I enjoyed it.